These are the players that are going to be missing from EA Sports FC 24. Firstly, when the team you play for is in a league that is not licensed on the game. So we're talking like the J League, we're talking like the Russian League. There are some huge names in those leagues that won't be in EA Sports FC 24 because their club just isn't there. Players that will be missing out are Steven Unzonzi and Santi Cazorla, who are both out in the Qatari League. I'm not going to lie, I thought Santi Cazorla retired a long time ago. I had absolutely no idea he was out in Qatar. Who remembers this way back HD favourite, Gignac the Big Mac? He is in the Mexican League, another league that was not licensed this year, and therefore most likely we won't be seeing it next year either. Next up, we've got the Russian League with some big names in it like Malcolm. We've also got Vendel in there. And then we have Mario Fernandez, who used to be Brazilian, if you remember this. And then he switched to the Russian nationality so he could play for the Russian team. Well, they're not in it because the Russian League is not in the game. Now, you might have forgotten about this player, Quincy Promes, very elite FIFA player, like really good in game, like had 5-star weak foot, 4-star skills, was epic. Now, the reason he's not going to be in the game is because he is in the Russian League, but there's another reason why he might not be on the game next year. Number one, because he's on trial for murder, and number two, whilst on trial for murder, he is being accused of smuggling £65 million worth of cocaine through Antwerp in Belgium. This guy just living wild. I mean, what is going on? Now, a rather unique one that might not be in the game next year is Ivan Toney. He is currently serving an 8-month ban for gambling on football matches, which is a big no-no. So will Ivan Toney be in the game from the start? Probably not. Will he be reintroduced into the game though at a later stage? Potentially, but it's just a big question mark right now. Now, if you're hoping for an Iniesta icon card like I am, the guy was an absolute wizard when at Barcelona, think again, because he's not finished playing football. He's actually out in the J League, the Japanese league, which isn't in the game. So unless he transfers or retires and gets an icon card, we won't be seeing Iniesta anytime soon. And while we're talking about Japan, we might as well mention Nagatomo, who won't be in the game because he currently plays left back in the J League. But more crushingly, there is a chance that Kazumura is not going to be in the next EA Sports game. The oldest player in football, clocking an impressive 56 years old, an absolute meme, a king of Danny Aaron streams. So that's a lot of names we're missing already, but there's another big league that we'll be coming back to in just a second. Also, quick shout out to our sponsor, MMOPO.com. Their link is down in the description. The best place to go get your Ultimate Team coins. Use code CAPGUN to get yourself a discount. Now, one league that EA has actually licensed this year that they didn't have in previous years is they have got the rights to the Champions League. Now, when I saw this, I thought, great, this is amazing, because they're going to bring all of those teams in and there's going to be some absolute hidden gems in amongst them that we can go and play with. So, for example, European teams that aren't in a league that's licensed by FIFA, like Astana or Red Star Belgrade. But I went through like literally every single team, so excited to find a big name player that was playing for one of them. The biggest player I could find was Yassine Benzia.
Now, Benzia is my bum fiddle. I would love just to stroke his face.
And he topped out at a non-rare gold whilst in the French league. So another reason that players don't make it into the next iteration of Ultimate Team is because they retire. There is a big list of names that retired this season. They are Mesut Ozil, Gareth Bale, Bojan, PK, Blaise Matuidi, Higuain, Joaquin, Fernando Llorente, Ribery, Miranda, Hector, and Cahill. So at this time, none of those players will be appearing in the game. However, it does open up the chance for these players to become either heroes or icons. So I'm going to tell you which players I think are going to return from this list and whether they'll be a hero or icon, and you can let me know what you think down in the comments section. Ozil, we're going icon. I mean, he was so good at Real Madrid. He was amazing for the German national team, and he was pretty decent for Arsenal as well. Blaise Matuidi, I'm going hero for this guy. Bale and PK, who fought it out in so many El Clasico matches, I'm going to give them both the icon card. Joaquin, who played over 400 games for Betis and is currently 42 years of age, I'm going to make him a hero. Ribery, last time I did a video on EAFC players, I think I put him as a hero, but I've changed my mind. I'm going to make the man an icon. And then Higuain and Cahill, I'm going to make them heroes. Now, we spoke about a league that wasn't in the game and the players that were missing from it, and it's the Brazilian league. There are so many big name players, especially Brazilians, that are still playing out in the Brazilian league that will be missing out next year. One of the biggest players that we're losing this year is Luis Suarez, an amazing player. He's been in the Ultimate Team since the very start. Big loss, amazing player, although questionable character. Arturo Vidal, bet you didn't realise he's still playing football. He's out in the Brazilian league along with Dani Alves, Marcelo and David Luiz. That is like literally a team of the year backline almost, with Dani Alves, Luis and Marcelo. We just need Thiago Silva out there now and we'd have the full set. Now sadly there is another reason that players do not make it into the next iteration of Ultimate Team, and that is because they pass away. So we're just going to take a moment to pay our respects to Christian Atsu, who died tragically in an earthquake in Turkey this year. I remember Atsu from his days at Newcastle, and his FIFA card was always lightning quick. That is the big memory I have of it. When the news broke that he had passed away, there was a lot of sadness online, and he will be sorely missed. Next up, we have icons and legends that have been in Ultimate Teams before, but for some reason were then removed. Most of the reasons that they're removed are not particularly good, because EA wants to distance themselves from that player. Other times it's because the player has passed away, like Maradona, and sometimes it's because some of the icons just aren't popular enough and the player base just don't want them in there anymore, like Lalas, for example. But this is a really interesting story that I thought I'd share here. George Weah, arguably the greatest African footballer of all times, he has a Ballon d'Or to his name, was once in FIFA and his card was cracked. It was broken. It was so flipping good. However, in 2017, George Weah became the president, yes, the top dog of Liberia, which is just mental in itself that a footballer could go from playing on the pitch to basically running an entire country. Fair play to him. But because of this, the EA Ethics Board met. They decided that because he is in politics, it could cause some friction amongst different groups of people, that he needed to be removed from the game. Maybe one day when he's no longer president, he will be back in the game. And actually, I've just found out he wasn't the only one that was removed for politics. Romario was also removed for the same reason. And before we finish, I've just realised one of my favourite players of all time has also retired. Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Give that man an icon card. Special mention to him. He'll be sorely missed in the Ultimate Team franchise. That's all the information I have about missing cards in this Ultimate Team. But if you'd like to see a whole load of new cards that are coming to EA Sports FC 24, then just click right here.